The only people who don't want to disclose the truth are people with something to hide.
That was available to the administration at the time.
I have found no heroes here in Washington.
The focus on, and in some cases, the obsessive focus on, Ambassador Rice's appearance on a series of Sunday shows several months ago is misplaced and misguided.
Then why did the administration put her out there as the spokesperson and try to, what has ended up being, misleading the world on what really happened in Benghazi?
I believe a president should be able to pick his cabinet unless it's something egregious. The Senate Republicans are saying is, wait a second, if what you said on 5 consecutive shows that Sunday was false because somebody gave you bad information, who's the person who gave you the bad information? I do think the White House is going to have to give them that answer for her to be approved.
What unmitigated gall for these men to attack the permanent representative to the United Nations, Susan E. Rice.
Whether it's intelligence, whether it's enforcement, or whether it's just the bureaucracy, I have found no heroes here in Washington.
All of the things that they have disliked about things that have gone on in this administration, they have never called a male unqualified, not bright, not trustworthy.
So are the attacks on Ambassador Susan Rice sexism or something else? Former Alaska Governor Sarah Palin joins us. Good evening, Governor.
Good evening.
Governor, I assume you've heard the clips that we just played, and there are some who think that Ambassador Susan Rice is not being criticized for her performance, but for reasons rooted in sexism. Your thoughts?
Oh, I guess they reach very far in an argument like that, saying that this, what the heck does this have to do with gender or skin color or anything else? This has to do with competency. And Susan Rice's handling of Libya has been part and parcel of the Obama administration's handling of Libya, which has been appalling. It's been atrocious, and it's really indicative of a lack of competency and truthfulness and certainly transparency in the entire Obama administration. It has nothing to do with her gender.
I actually, in sort of a curious way, think there is sexism involved here, and I think it's appalling, and the sexism is this way, is that for some reason, because she's a woman, she's given a pass, that she's held to lower standards, which I object to. I want to be held to same standards, equal standards, but there are some who will let her take a pass for giving false information, whether knowingly or unknowingly, sitting on it for 73 days until about 3 days ago when she spoke to some U.S. senators behind closed doors. For some reason, she gets a pass on that. I don't get that, and I think that's actually demeaning to women if that's why she's getting that pass.
Yeah, I agree. And still, to this day, no apology, no clear explanation to the people of America as it pertains to what really happened there in Benghazi. And again, just the illustration, I think, the prime example of the lack of transparency and honesty that is exemplified in the Obama administration. Very sad.
Well, there have been 73 days, and it wasn't until this week when the information finally came out. And incidentally, Senator Collins with us last night told us that Ambassador Rice told her behind closed doors that she had access to the president's daily briefing, so she had as much information as anybody, including that this was Al-Qaeda affiliated, suspected even on day one. But let me ask you about Representative Eleanor Holmes Norton. She says we do not intend to stand by while Ambassador Susan Rice, who had nothing to do with this tragic Benghazi attack or its aftermath, is made the scapegoat. Yet, what I'm surprised about is she's not clamoring for her own party, for the administration to come out and tell us what did you know, when did you know it, and why are you dragging your feet about it? So where is she? I mean, she's missing the point on that one. Do you agree?
She's missing the point, and she's playing politics, and you know, she knows that she has cover because the mainstream media is going right along with her, and that that suggestion that Obama and his closest people in the White House did nothing wrong in Benghazi, and obviously they did. 4 brave and innocent Americans were killed in this attack, and still the American people are left with so many questions, and spokespersons for this incident, this tragedy, are wanting to play politics instead of just being straight with the people.
Yes, and Press Secretary Jay Carney is, I think, likewise, subject to legitimate criticism. I assume that he has access to information, and for many days, maybe not 73 days, but they've done everything they could not to get the facts out. If they want to end this, it's a simple way. Just get the facts out. Quit trying to hide them. And that's what, I don't understand why everyone gives them the pass except for CBS and Fox on that.
Yeah, exactly, Greta. That's the bottom line is, just be straight with the people. That's all we expect of our government is honesty so that we can, as the people being served, so that we can judge the decisions being made. And Jay Carney, though, just so obstinate and so arrogant, really, in his replies and in his exchanges with the media over this. If I were a member of the media sitting there being talked to and kind of scolded, as Jay Carney does to them, I would be quite offended, and it would make me want to be an even better reporter and be a better investigator of what the facts truly are with this Libya tragedy.
Well, the dirty little secret, though, in Washington on both sides of the aisle is that access. You will lose access if you are. You have to. You have to use good judgment. I'm not saying that you sell your soul to the administration, but some people, frankly,
so what, though? So what? So what if you lose access to Obama? You know why? You know why people don't want to lose? I mean, the American people don't care if a reporter isn't going to have access to the Obama administration because of what's coming back as a result of having that privileged, powerful access. Is this lack of transparency? It's more confusion, it's more uncertainty, and it's lies. So why in the world would a reporter be concerned about whether they're going to get more of that fed to them, those lies, the uncertainty, the murky answers to so many questions being asked? I wouldn't care about having that access when you know what the result is.
I'm with you. Look what's happened in just this Benghazi investigation. The State Department did a conference call and conveniently left Fox News off when they wanted to brief them the day before their people went to Capitol Hill. The CIA had a briefing, and guess what news organization was left out? Fox News Channel. Then a memo was released, I think it was by the intelligence, DNI, and who didn't get the memo? Fox News. But what they don't realize is that all these other news organizations will eventually give it to us. So I mean, that's the irony of it. But I mean, they are trying to punish Fox because we dare to ask them questions, and all we're asking questions are, what are the facts on 4 murders? And the more you try to hide it, the more when 71 days drags to 72 days, drags to 73 days, and we're still not getting the answer, it's reasonable to be suspicious that you're trying to hide something. So tell us, and that'll end it.
And the American people need to understand that this Benghazi tragedy, it's just one example of what the greater problem is with this lack of transparency, this distrustfulness of our own government. Benghazi is a prime example of it, but it leads you to believe and to know that there are many other deceptions that are a part of this White House and the mode of operation there in Washington, D.C.
Yeah, if there's a reasonable explanation for any of the confusion, or tell us, lay it out. Don't give us more silly stuff. Don't hide more stuff. Frankly, I don't even like the fact that Ambassador Rice met behind closed doors with the senators. I would have rather her come up to a microphone and answer questions to reporters, but that didn't happen. There is an awful lot that's done behind closed doors in this town that simply should be put out in the open. The American people can take it. They can handle it. They're big people.
Yeah, absolutely. And by the way, it was a fascinating interview that you had with Senator Collins yesterday. I certainly appreciated that. New information was exposed because of you asking questions of her and she having had that opportunity to speak with Susan Rice. And I think that the discussion after hearing that interview should lead us all to believe that Susan Rice perhaps is not the person to become our next Secretary of State.
Well, at the very least, if she's nominated, she should be. She's entitled to a full hearing, and she's going to be questioned aggressively, as she should be, and as every male candidate should likewise be. But she's going to have a lot of questions asked of her should she be nominated.
The only people who don't want to disclose the truth are people with something to hide.